1 second the desert road was quiet, empty, and dark. The next second, the entire sky ripped open with a streak of blue. Fire. A massive object tore through the clouds and crashed somewhere beyond the dunes with a thunder that shook the ground beneath his truck. Ethan slammed the brakes and stared through the windshield. His heart was racing. What in the world was that? He whispered. The desert became silent again, but not the normal kind of silence. This silence felt strange, heavy, almost alive. A faint glow appeared on the horizon where the object had fallen. Most people would have turned the truck around and driven away as fast as possible. But Ethan Cole was not most people. For years he had worked as a salvage pilot, searching for lost cargo, broken ships, and abandoned technology. Curiosity was the reason he survived so long. It was also the reason he stepped out of the truck that night and began walking toward the glowing crash site. The sand beneath his boots shimmered faintly, as if tiny sparks were buried inside it. At the center of the massive hole in the ground was not a meteor. It was a ship. The metal surface was smooth and silver, but cracked open like a broken shell. Soft blue lights flickered across strange symbols, carved into the hull. The design was unlike anything Ethan had ever seen before. This isn't human," he said quietly. The ship hissed as steam escaped from its shattered side. Something inside was still alive. Ethan's chest tightened. He slowly climbed down into the crater and approached the broken opening. His flashlight beam slid across the inside of the ship, revealing strange technology, glowing panels, and twisted metal. Then he heard it, a small sound, not a machine, a cry. Ethan immediately turned toward the sound. It was soft, weak, and unmistakable. A baby crying. He blinked in disbelief. That's impossible. The sound came again, louder this time. Sparks flickered from broken wires above his head, casting strange shadows along the surface of the pod was glowing, protecting something inside. Twins. They were wrapped in soft silver fabric that shimmered under the blue light. Their skin looked slightly different from human skin, smoother and faintly glowing. Their eyes were closed, but strange markings were visible along their tiny arms. They were not human. They were alien. And somehow, they had just landed on Earth. Ethan sat there in silence, staring at them. His mind raced with questions. Where had they come from? Who sent them? And why were they alone in a dying ship drifting through space? One of the babies opened its eyes. Bright silver eyes looked directly at Ethan. For a moment, the world felt frozen. The baby did not cry anymore. Instead, it simply stared at him, as if it already understood something important. He could not explain it, but he knew one thing with absolute certainty. These children were not meant to die here. The moment he held them, the strange glow around their bodies became warmer, almost peaceful. The ship behind him began to shake violently. A warning sound echoed through the broken cabin. The ship was going to explode. Ethan didn't wait. Holding the twins tightly, he climbed out of the crater and ran across the desert sand as fast as he could. Just as he reached his truck, a powerful explosion erupted behind him. The alien ship disappeared in a storm of fire and metal. Within seconds, the desert was silent again. No ship, no proof. Only Ethan and the two alien babies in his arms. He looked down at them, confused and overwhelmed. What am I supposed to do with you two? He asked quietly. The twins stared up at him with those strange silver eyes. Ethan sighed and opened the truck door. Well, he said softly, I guess you're coming home with me. That night, Ethan Cole unknowingly made the most important decision in the galaxy. Because somewhere far beyond Earth, across countless stars and empires, powerful rulers were searching desperately for two missing children, the lost heirs of a royal alien empire. And the entire galaxy believed they were dead. Ethan Cole had never planned to become a father, especially not to two alien babies that had fallen from the sky dot, but from the moment he carried them into his small house at the edge of the desert, something inside him changed. The twins were quiet, almost strangely calm, as if they already trusted him. Ethan wrapped them in warm blankets and placed them on the couch while he tried to think. Okay. Think, Ethan, he murmured, pacing across the room. 2 alien. Babies just landed in your truck. What do normal people do in this situation? He quickly realized the answer. Normal people would call the government, but Ethan knew exactly what would happen if he did that. Scientists would arrive. Soldiers would arrive. The twins would be taken away and studied like strange laboratory animals. Ethan looked at the 2 tiny faces staring back at him. No, he said firmly. That's not happening. The twins needed names. They needed a home. They needed someone to protect them. And somehow, that someone had become him. He named the boy Oren and the girl Lyra. The names felt right the moment he said them out loud. The twins seemed to like them too. Lyra giggled softly, while Oren blinked. At Ethan with those mysterious silver eyes, days slowly turned into weeks. Raising alien children turned out to be complicated. At first, Ethan worried they might need strange alien food or special machines to survive. But surprisingly, they adapted quickly to human life. They drank normal milk, slept peacefully, and laughed like any other babies. Still, there were things that made Ethan realize they were not ordinary children. Sometimes, when Lyra cried, small objects around the room would begin to float. Spoons, cups, even Ethan's tools would slowly rise into the air like invisible hands were lifting them. And Oren. Oren had a strange connection with machines. When Ethan's broken radio suddenly turned on by itself one night, broadcasting strange signals from deep space, Ethan looked down and saw baby Oren touching it with his tiny hand. The radio crackled with unknown alien sounds before shutting off again. Ethan slowly sat down. Yeah, you two are definitely not normal, he sighed. As the years passed, the twins grew faster than human children. By the age of 6, they were already smarter than most adults Ethan had ever met. Oren could repair complex machines just by looking at them. Lyra seemed to understand emotions and thoughts around her, sometimes answering questions before Ethan even asked them. But the strangest part was their eyes. Those bright silver eyes glowed faintly whenever they were thinking deeply, almost like stars shining in the dark. Ethan tried his best to keep their abilities hidden. Their small desert town was quiet, but people still noticed strange things sometimes. A neighbor once saw Lyra lift a heavy wooden chair without touching it. Another time, Oren fixed an entire truck engine in 10 minutes, something that should have taken hours. Rumors slowly began to spread. Those kids are strange, people whispered. They're not normal. Ethan knew the truth. They weren't meant to live here forever. One night, 10 years after the crash, Ethan stood outside the house staring at the stars. The twins sat beside him on the old wooden steps. Dad? Lyra asked softly. Where did we come from? Ethan stayed quiet for a moment. He had always known this day would come. You came from the sky, he said finally. Oren tilted his head slightly. From another world? Ethan nodded slowly. Yes. The twins did not look surprised. In fact, it looked like they had always suspected it. Lyra looked up at the stars again. Sometimes, I feel like someone is searching for us, she whispered. A cold feeling ran through Ethan's chest. Searching? He asked. Oren nodded quietly. Yes, he said. And whoever they are getting closer. At that exact moment, far beyond Earth, a massive alien warship drifted silently through deep space. Inside the ship, dozens of commanders stood before a glowing hologram showing 2 small figures. 2 children. A tall armored alien stepped forward. The signal has appeared again, he announced. Location confirmed. Planet Earth. The commanders stared at the hologram with shock. After 10 long years, the impossible had finally happened. The missing royal heirs had been found. The night felt different. Ethan Cole could not explain it, but something in the air made him uneasy, carrying a quiet whisper that made the stars feel colder than usual. Inside the small house, Oren and Lyra were sitting at the kitchen table. So now they spent most of their time studying things on their own. Lyra was drawing strange star maps on a notebook. Oren was repairing Ethan's broken Drone again. Ethan watched them quietly from the doorway. Even after 10 years, he still sometimes forgot that they were not human. They laughed like normal kids. They argued over small things. They even complained about chores. But deep inside, Ethan knew they were different. Very different. Lyra suddenly. "What is it?" She did not answer right away. Her face looked serious, the way it sometimes did when she sensed something. Strange. They're closer now. The words made Ethan's chest tighten. Who's closer? He asked. Oren had also stopped working. His fingers froze on the drone as his eyes glowed faintly. "The one searching for us," Oren said quietly. A long silence filled the room. Ethan walked to the window and looked outside into the empty desert. Everything looked normal. The road was quiet. The wind moved gently across the sand dunes, but the uneasy feeling inside his chest refused to disappear. "How close?" Ethan asked. Lyra looked toward the sky. "Very close." At that exact moment, something invisible entered Earth's orbit. High above the planet, hidden behind a powerful cloaking field, a massive alien vessel appeared silently among the stars. Its dark metal surface stretched across hundreds of meters. Shaped like a long blade drifting through space. Inside the command chamber, his armor was black and silver, decorated with ancient royal symbols. "The signal is stronger now," he said. Another officer stepped forward. "Are we certain it belongs to them?" The commander nodded slowly. "There is no mistake. The royal bloodline energy matches perfectly." The room became silent. After 10 years of searching across the galaxy, they had finally located the two missing heirs, but the commander's expression remained serious. "They are not alone," he continued. The screens suddenly displayed images taken from orbit. A small desert town. Simple house. And a human man. Standing outside under the stars. "A human has been protecting them," one officer said with surprise. The commander watched the image carefully. Interesting. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Ethan was sitting outside again on the wooden steps of his house. The twins were beside him, both staring at the sky in deep thought. "Do you feel them?" Ethan asked quietly. Oren nodded. "Yes. There are many of them." Lyra's voice became even softer. "And they are not the only ones." Ethan turned toward her. "What do you mean?" She hesitated before answering. "There are others." A cold wind passed through the desert. Oren suddenly stood up. "They've arrived," he said. Before Ethan could ask another question, the lights inside the house flickered. Then the old radio on the porch turned on by itself. Static filled the self. Air. Ethan walked slowly toward it. The radio crackled again, but this time the sound was not random noise. It was a voice speaking in a strange alien language. Oren stepped forward and placed his hand on the radio. Instantly, unidentified human guardian. Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm tightly. The voice became calmer, almost respectful. "You have something that belongs to the galactic throne." Ethan's heart pounded. Oren and Lyra looked at each other silently. Then the voice said the words that changed everything. "Prepare yourself, human, because the entire galaxy is coming for them." The voice from the radio slowly faded into silence. For a long moment, no one spoke. The desert wind whispered across the sand while Ethan, Oren, and Lyra stood frozen on the porch. The stars above them suddenly felt much closer. Lyra looked up at him with worried eyes. "Dad, are they going to take us away?" Ethan said firmly. "No one is taking you anywhere, unless you want to go." Oren stared at Ethan for a long moment. "Even if they are our people?" The sky suddenly changed. A deep humming sound echoed across the desert as a massive shadow slowly appeared above the clouds. The stars vanished one by one as something enormous blocked the sky. A ship. Not a small ship like the one that brought the twins. This one was gigantic. Blue lights appeared along its dark surface as it hovered silently over the desert town. The entire area was suddenly illuminated by a soft glowing light. People began coming out of their houses, staring up in shock. "What is that thing? Is it the military?" "No, that's not human technology." Ethan knew they had no more time to hide. A beam of light slowly descended from the alien ship, landing a short distance away in the desert sand. Then something unexpected happened. The twins' silver eyes began glowing brightly. Strange symbols appeared in the air around them, like floating holograms made of light. Lyra gasped softly. Orin's voice was just as shocked. So do I. Ethan watched them carefully. Remember what? Memories that had been hidden for years. Ah, massive palace among the stars. Thousands of alien ships forming. Orin finished the sentence. We were princes and princesses. Ethan felt his stomach drop, but the real surprise had not come yet. The alien ship above them suddenly opened. Another communication channel. This time, the voice sounded different, colder, more threatening. Attention, royal heirs. Look toward the sky. The voice continued. You have been missing for 10 years. Your empire has fallen into chaos. Ethan frowned. Fallen? Yes, the voice replied. Silence. Ethan felt a strange chill run down his spine. What are you talking about? He asked. The alien commander answered slowly. The ship that brought the royal heirs to your planet was attacked. Someone betrayed the royal family. Lyra's eyes widened. A traitor? The voice became darker. Yes. And according to our records, that traitor escaped to Earth as well. Ethan's mind raced. You're saying the person who attacked your empire is here on this planet? The commander paused for a moment before answering. Yes. Said something that made Ethan's blood run cold. And we believe that person may already be very close to you. At that exact moment, flickered. The engine roared to life without anyone touching it. Orin slowly turned toward the vehicle. Ethan looked down at him. Orin pointed at the truck. There's something inside it. The truck door slowly creaked open. And from the darkness inside, the truck door slowly opened with a long metallic creak. Ethan, Orin, and Lyra stood frozen as the engine roared softly in the quiet desert night. Tall, thin, and wearing a long coat covered in desert dust. Light as the twins. Lyra gasped. You're one of us, he said firmly. The stranger raised both hands slowly, almost peacefully. I didn't come to hurt them, he replied, but Orin's voice was sharp. You attacked our ship. The stranger looked at him with quiet sadness. You remember now. He destroyed the royal fleet and forced the heirs to flee. The stranger shook his head slowly. They always tell the story that way, he said. Ethan frowned. Then tell it the right way. For a moment, they controlled thousands of planets, forced entire civilizations to obey them, and destroyed anyone who resisted. Lyra's glowing eyes trembled. That can't be true. I served in their royal guard, the stranger continued. For years I protected them. Orin stared at him carefully. So you betrayed them. I tried to stop them, the stranger corrected softly. He looked up at the massive alien ship hovering above the desert, but the Empire's generals wanted power more than peace. They called me a traitor and hunted me across the stars. Ethan slowly understood. And the twins? He asked. The stranger looked at them with gentle eyes. I didn't attack your ship, he said. I saved you. The twins stood completely still. When the royal fleet collapsed into civil war, I placed you inside that escape pod and sent you to the only safe world I could find. Earth. Lyra's voice shook. You saved us? Yes. A loud warning signal. Do not listen to his lies. The commander shouted. Royal heirs, return to us immediately. You must reclaim your throne and restore the empire. Orin looked up at the sky. The giant ship hovered like a dark mountain above the desert town. Thousands of soldiers. Countless weapons. An entire empire waiting for its rulers to return. Lyra slowly turned toward Ethan. Dad, what should we do? Ethan took a deep breath. For 10 years, he had raised them like his own children. He had watched them grow, laugh, and learn what kindness meant. They were not the rulers of a violent empire. They were just two kids who deserved a better future. Ethan placed his hands on their shoulders. The galaxy may want kings and queens, he said quietly. But you get to decide what kind of people you want to be. The twins looked at each other, Their silver eyes glowed brightly. Then Orin stepped forward. He looked directly at the warship. Above, his voice was calm but powerful. "We will not rule an empire built on fear." Lyra joined him. "If the galaxy needs leaders, then it will have leaders who protect people, not conquer them." A powerful wave of energy suddenly spread from the twins. The strange symbols of their royal bloodline filled the sky like shining constellations. The alien warship's commander stared at the readings in shock. Their power, it's increasing. But the twins were no longer afraid. For the first time, they fully understood who they were. Not lost heirs, not rulers of war, but the beginning of something new. Orin looked at Ethan and smiled. "You gave us a home." Lyra nodded. "And now we'll give the galaxy something it never had before." Hope. High above the desert, the alien warship slowly powered down its weapons. Because in that moment, the entire galaxy realized something incredible. The lost royal heirs had been raised by a human, and they had chosen humanity over power. A decision that would change the future of every star system forever.